Welcome to Day 14 on the Trail. We have 4 readings for today from Luke 7, verse 36 through 8:3, Genesis 25, verses 1 through 34, the 20 and 21st Psalms, and Sirach 16, verse 24 through 17:32. We are going to focus our time today on Luke chapter 7. Now, in this story, Jesus is invited to the home of Simon, who is a Pharisee. Now, at this point in the story, the popularity of Jesus has been growing. However, so has the criticism of his ministry by the Jewish leadership, which would have included the Pharisees. The dinner that Jesus was invited to was most likely served in a room called a triclinium. This is a room that had couches on 3 sides, where the participants would lean forward over pillows to partake in the food which was set in the middle of the couches. Often one side of the room would be open to the street, similar to a patio at a restaurant today. This would have given access to the woman who approaches Jesus to come into the room unseen. According to Luke's record of the events that night, this woman was publicly known as a sinner. That is, she knew who she was, and so did everyone else. However, her intention is not to disturb the party or to make a statement. Instead, she approaches Jesus to offer him an act of kindness. She is not asking for anything. It seems she simply wants to remain unseen. However, there is an important twist to the story that we often overlook. Before she can anoint Jesus' feet, she notices that his feet have not been washed. This should have already happened before the dinner started. Washing a guest's feet was a common act of hospitality. And Simon, the host, should have ensured that a servant or someone had washed Jesus' feet since he was a guest. However, this did not happen. This unnamed woman did not anticipate Jesus' feet not being washed. So she improvises. She uses what she has. She uses her tears to wash Jesus' feet, and then she dries them with her hair. And then in verse 39 we read, "Now when the Pharisee who had invited him saw it, he said to himself, 'If this man were a prophet, he would have known who and what kind of woman this is who is touching him, that she is a sinner.'" Jesus had been invited to dinner by Simon, but was he welcome at the dinner? Was Simon interested in learning from Jesus or getting to know him better? It does not seem so. So Jesus confronts Simon with a parable. Then following the parable, Jesus asks Simon a very simple question. Do you see this woman? Of course, Simon has seen her. After all, Simon had already judged her. But had he really seen her? Throughout the Gospels, Jesus asks questions of people, questions that are not meant to get information, but rather to draw the person into the story, to help them reflect on what is really happening, not just around them, but inside of them. Then, beginning in verse 44, then Jesus, turning toward the woman, said to Simon, "Do you see this woman? I entered your house, and you gave me no water for my feet, but she has bathed my feet with her tears and dried them with her hair. You gave me no kiss, but from the time that I came in, she has not stopped kissing my feet. You did not anoint my head with oil, but she has anointed my feet with ointment. Therefore I tell you, her sins, which are many, have been forgiven. Hence she has shown great love. But the one to whom little is forgiven loves little." One of the main points of this story is not the cost of the ointment or its extravagance. Instead, it's the simple acts of hospitality and compassion that Simon neglected compared to the love and compassion that this woman shows in the everyday things, the washing Jesus' feet and drying them with her hair. It is in the little things, the everyday things, that we too can show love and compassion to those around us. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, stay on the trail.